Here's one for the frustrated creative type out there. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation on overcoming procrastination, that thief of human potential. Let me begin by telling you a little bit about myself so that you know where I'm coming from. My name's Antony Sammeroff. I'm a counsellor and a life coach, and before I was involved in the self-help field, I was a musician. I taught piano for about 7 years, and I composed music for plays, and I was a playwright myself, and I reviewed close to about 100 plays, and during that time I experienced a continual struggle between the part of me that wanted to create and do something wonderful and my inner procrastinator. Besides my creative frustrations, I was in the habit of leaving bills to the last minute and waiting weeks to reply to emails. But I'm glad to say that much of that has changed, and if you email me tomorrow, you're very likely to get a reply by the end of the week. If I'm anything to go by, procrastination is probably the major source of misery amongst creative types who find it difficult to just step into their potential and do what they love. So, I've made this presentation to help all the struggling procrastinators out there by just teaching one of the most powerful techniques I've ever learned that can be practiced on your own whenever you have the time. That is, if you don't put it off. To prepare you for using this technique, let's briefly explore together the way us recovering procrastinators tend to think about achieving our goals. A lot of the time, we turn the process of creating something into something we just need to get over with as quickly as possible so we can have that result attained already. We can build the creative process up in our heads into something bigger than it is, something that requires special attention, and then we think we need to be in the right state of mind to even get started. That can really put us off doing anything. So this technique, which I originally created to get myself more motivated and then developed working with my clients, really invites us to start looking at the way we achieve our goals differently. In fact, as you'll see, it involves forgetting about the goal for a minute and focusing on getting started. If you can get started reliably and get started again and again and again until you can get started anytime you want, then naturally you're going to be able to accomplish all of your goals. More importantly, when you practice this technique, you'll find that these aren't just things to get done. Because when you're focused on the process of meeting your goals, you actually get to feel quite excited and motivated after a while. Whereas people who are always focused on end results tend to get pretty miserable. They spend most of their time tolerating doing things they don't really enjoy, feel good for a little while, then go back to more tolerating. You want to enjoy what you do, not just the results of what you do. Now, people will tend to procrastinate when they've got unconscious or semi-conscious beliefs that block their natural enthusiasm for doing what they want to do. It's pointless. It's too hard. I don't have the energy. No one will read it anyway. I don't have enough time right now. I'll do it later. I'm not good enough. But what if I fail? But if I succeed, I'll have to do all these other things. Yep. With views like those, who needs a pessimistic relative to take the wind out of your sails? It seems that when we hold these beliefs on the unconscious level, we rarely get to actually feel the enthusiasm we have for accomplishing our goals. Yes, it's in there somewhere, but it's almost like the lone striker in a basketball game completely overcrowded by defenders that want to stop it from making that basket. Now, this is clearly where a good coach or a therapist could really come through for you. I certainly recommend my services because obviously this is an area that I have a lot of experience with, but even if you decide not to book me as a life coach or a counsellor, I strongly recommend you get help from someone who's an expert, because if you think about it, everyone who accomplishes anything really great with their lives does so by seeking out coaching and mentorship. Top sports stars don't stop getting coaching when they leave school. Business people have consultants. Before I was a piano tutor, I went to piano lessons. It's not a luxury, it's just part of what it takes to live a fully activated life and excel at anything you want to be good at. I have a coach, my coach has a coach, and his coach probably has a coach too, who learned from someone else's coach. So that's the pitch. Let's explore this technique because it's one of the ones that you can use without the help of a coach. The first time you try this exercise, you're probably going to want to have a whole day off, but as you get used to working with it, you'll be able to use it in shorter periods of time, 2 hours, half an hour, whatever you can fit into your schedule. Begin the morning with some slow, deep breathing. Most of our energy comes from the air we breathe rather than the food that we eat. Getting lots of oxygen into your body will go a long way to energize you for the day ahead. Now, you're going to get a notepad and open it to a double page. On the left page, write down all the goals in life that you would like to achieve, leaving a few spaces between each. I do not include relationship goals in this exercise, but personal goals that you wish to achieve for yourself, such as personal development, work, or writing that book, or play, or song, whatever it is you're into. Take as long as you want writing down your goals. Now on the right hand side of the page, write down the very first thing you would need to do to complete each of the goals. Just the first thing. If you do not have information on what you'd have to do first for any of the goals, then getting that information obviously is the first thing. So that's what you'd write down on the right side across from the goal. When you're done, look down the list of tasks on the right hand page. You're going to choose the one that looks the easiest or most appealing and do it. We're choosing the easiest task because our goal is overcoming our pattern of procrastination rather than achieving our overall goals. All we're seeking to do in this step is build our self-respect and our belief in our ability to do things and get them done. Over time, you'll notice that your appetite for more challenging tasks increases if you stay at it. So when you're done, all you need to do is identify the next most appealing task on your list and get to it. Now it could be that the next most appealing task is continuing to work on the goal that you've already been pursuing. And if that's what happens, then great, there's no need to stop, just keep going. However, if continuing to pursue that goal is throwing up too much resistance at the moment, that's also fine because you've always got your list to fall back on. Take some time to congratulate yourself and celebrate every item you strike off your list. It's really important to send clear signals to your unconscious mind that you're doing something that you actually enjoy and find rewarding, so that it processes that and continues to motivate you. It may seem like a bit of a cop-out always choosing the easiest or most appealing tasks, but you'll notice that if you keep practicing, your self-respect will increase and you'll get an appetite for targeting more challenging items. You don't have to take my word for it that this works. In fact, I don't want you to take my word for it that it works. Try it out yourself and get back to me on how it works out for you. I'd love to hear from you. What I've taught you in this presentation is extremely powerful, and the great thing about it is you can pursue it on your own, or you can get an accountability partner. You can invite one of your friends over for the day and help keep each other in check, working on your individual goals or your collective goals. I'm really passionate about helping people who know they've got something to offer the world, so if you're a chronic procrastinator, I'd love to work with you. If you'd like to get a free 25-minute consultation, all you have to do is send an email to enrichyourlife@outlook.com so we can get to know each other better, discover what your needs are, and explore together how I might be able to meet them for you. Procrastination isn't just a personal tragedy. Just think of all the talented people out there who have so much to offer the world but haven't done it yet because they feel too emotionally stunted. If you thought it was useful, don't keep it to yourself. You can post it up on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media you use. Or maybe you want to email it to that one special friend of yours who's bursting with potential and might need the right kind of kick to fully realise it. Goodbye, and thank you again for listening.